Welcome to Elevated Women, the podcast where energetics meets strategy and wealth becomes who you are. I'm your host, Myra Swankotze, subconscious reprogramming master, energetics mentor, multi-seven-figure coach, and Brain's 500 global honoree for my work in conscious business leadership. This space is your portal, a frequency upgrade for the woman who's done shrinking and ready to claim everything she came for. Let's melt the old patterns, rewire your money story, and build a wildly aligned business from your highest self. This is your next evolution. Let's begin. Welcome back to Elevated Women. This episode is for the woman who has ever asked herself, am I too much or am I not enough? Because here's the truth, whether you've been told you're too bold, too emotional, too passionate, or you've been the one who was always gentle, quiet, sensitive, and still made to feel like you weren't enough. Both experiences are deeply rooted in the same wound. We were taught to shrink. As little girls, we were often taught to be pleasing, to be polite, to not rock the boat. And then, for those of us who build our lives and businesses online, a whole new layer of conditioning emerged. Now you might feel that your trauma or your boldness or your quietness doesn't stem from your childhood, but maybe really and only from the criticism that takes place online. And whichever one it is, beautiful one, I need to tell you, you need to stop it. You need to break through it. And this episode is exactly what this is meant for. This episode is to show you that you are not too loud, that you are not too audacious, that you are not too quiet, that you are not too gentle or sensitive, that you have merely become someone that society wanted you to become, and that the real you is still inside of you, waiting to break out. I'm going to tell you my story. I didn't come from softness. I came from a masculine, male-dominated business world. I rose to success online more than a decade ago. It wasn't easy, but I did it. It took me 3 years to break through my bullying experience. I didn't play small. I was being audacious, brave, vocal. I spoke my truth because that's what I came from. But I was punished for it. Inside a few large Facebook groups, I was shut down. Women turned on me. The criticism and the bullying were relentless. Not from men, from other women. And I'm saddened to tell you that it still happens daily online. That women turn on women. They criticize, they bully, they cancel. Back then, it broke something inside of me. I started believing that this online world was just too cruel. I stopped speaking my truth. I stopped showing up as the bold, unapologetic version of myself. I began to censor every word that came out of my mouth, to soften, to shrink. And for 3 years in my business, I struggled. My business struggled. I attracted all the wrong people. I felt misaligned. My income completely disappeared. My fire dimmed. I was miserable. I just wanted to give up. Until one day something snapped inside of me, and I realized I was letting women who didn't even know me Women who couldn't hold my power decide who I got to be. And while the online world has evolved since then, the criticism hasn't stopped. It's just changed form. Today I still see how cancel culture is weaponized, how political opinions are used to bully and cancel, how women still criticize each other openly, not always by name, but with enough clarity that the target can feel it in her bones. It's soul-destroying. And when I see this, I often have to speak out. And then I get blocked because they don't like that. Women who do this, who bully and cancel and criticize, don't belong in your world, darling. I want to tell you a little bit more about what I see these days happening. And I don't care whether you're a Trump hater or a Trump lover. I'm not an American. I'm a South African living in Mexico. I have to tell you, with this last election, it hurt me to see how many women stood up against those that voted for Trump. It doesn't matter what your beliefs are. It doesn't matter what your political beliefs are, your Christian beliefs are. They don't belong in your business. They don't belong here for you to criticize other women and to cancel them. And to be honest with you, I feel ashamed that women actually do this to each other. I feel ashamed to be called a woman when I see this happen, where women do this to each other. Shouldn't we be standing not against each other, but together, lifting each other up in place of breaking, destroying, criticizing, being soul-shattering little witches? I can't call you anything else if you take part in this cancel culture, criticizing and bullying culture. So I saw how these non-Trump supporters started writing and calling out the Trump supporters of how they wouldn't want you to do business with them, how they will never do business with you. And I saw a couple of women stand up against it. And I really cheered for them. But I also saw how they got blocked, how they got cancelled in certain groups. And again, it saddened me. Like I said, I'm not from the US. What your political view is doesn't bother me. But when you use it to do this, it does bother me. And then I saw the same group of women that talks about how cruel it is to do the things that Trump does. But then they do the same. Not all of you. Not all of the women that speak up against what they believe that Trump is doing does this. But there's this group of women that does do that. I've seen many women give their opinion about what Trump does, that they don't like it and that they don't stand for it, but they do it respectfully. And that I cheer on. But then there's these women that really treats other human beings so badly through that whole process. And these same women will call other women out. Women that are brand new in this industry, that's just starting out, that's just coming online, finding their feet, and they dare to do something a little bit out of the norm, or what this group sees as the norm, and they get openly called out, not by name, but so clear that that poor woman is traumatized for the rest of her life. It breaks her spirit, just like it broke my spirit. And of course, again, I stood up against that in the comments. And again, I got blocked. Because you see, these kinds of people, they don't like bold, strong, opinionated women. Because if you don't agree with them, and your boldness and your opinions and your audacity stands against them, they can't cope with it. They only like it when that stands for them. Ladies, I'm here to tell you today, don't listen to those groups of women. Don't let them make you feel like you're too much. Don't make them feel like you're too little, or too quiet, or too sensitive. I want you to listen to this episode, and I want you to find the truth here. The truth is, you need to find who you are, really at your core, who you are meant to be. Forget about the childhood traumas. Heal them. Step out of them. And don't let other women decide who you are meant to be. They don't even know you. Just like they didn't know who I was. But there will always be those women that will stand against what you are. And that's fine. You don't need them. But don't let them affect you. So back then I said no more. I reclaimed my voice, my bigness, my frequency, my audacity. And yes, believe it or not, I am an introvert. For those of you who know me and has worked with me, many people have told me you cannot be an introvert. It's impossible. But I am. I am a homebody. I love quiet. But in business, I am loud, I am bold, and I am powerful. And I am audacious, because this is who I've always been. And I'm happy to have those two very opposing qualities inside of me. It gives me the chance to be who I want to be when I am in my private life and at home. And it gives me the chance to be who I want to be when I am in my business. And the two different versions of me works perfectly for me. And I want you to find those versions of yourself. Maybe your version is just one thing. Maybe you should just be the introvert. But that doesn't mean the introvert cannot have an opinion. It doesn't mean the introvert cannot be loud. It doesn't mean that the introvert cannot be bold or even audacious. You can. So find yourself. Find who you really are. It also doesn't mean that when you're bold and audacious and powerful and loud, that you need to tune down who you are. You don't. Find your balance. Find who you really are. And so when I returned to her, to that woman that I am, everything changed. My business exploded. In just over 2 years, I went from struggling to multi-7 figures because I stopped apologizing. I stopped filtering. I stopped trying to fit into this culture that only wants the polished, that only wants you to be audacious and bold and loud when it suits their agenda. But when it doesn't, they want to cancel you. So whether you've been called too much or you felt too small and afraid to speak up and to say what you want, I want you to hear this. Your full expression is your brand. Your frequency is your marketing. And your truth is your business strategy. If someone wants to cancel you for your beliefs, they were never your client. If someone criticizes your boldness, they were never meant to be in your world. If someone mocks your softness, they don't understand true power. Let them fall away. Because when you show up as the woman you were born to be, the right people find you. The right clients land. And the right support arrives. Stop shrinking. Stop apologizing. Stop censoring. Don't let those women, those bullying types, those criticizing cancel culture types ruin your experience online, your business online. Be bold. Be brave. Be all of you. Here's a few questions that I want you to reflect on. You can journal on them, or you can just purely reflect on them. It's entirely up to you. Question number 1. Where am I still shrinking? Whether you journal or reflect, I want you to go really deep. Question number 2. Where am I still filtering? Question number 3. Where am I still waiting for permission to be fully seen? Question number 4. And what would shift if I stopped? If this episode cracked something open for you, send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you, either on Facebook or on Instagram. It doesn't matter. I really would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your thoughts around this topic. Let me witness you. And if you're ready to activate your next level identity, go to myroswankotze.com and download the free activation waiting for you. In the next episode, we'll explore why energy comes first in business and how frequency is the foundation of overflow. You're not too much. You're not too small. You're finally home. Let's walk as her now. Thank you for tuning into Elevated Woman. If today's episode activated something in you, share it, tag me, or come say hi in the DMs. And if you're ready to go deeper, head to myroswankotze.com to grab your free gift or explore the offers aligned with your next level. Until next time, own your power, claim your wealth, and rise as the elevated woman you came here to be.